Good morning, everybody. So we are going to get started on today's webinar on our newest feature that we've added to D3M, which is floor plan diagrams. So in this webinar, we're going to go over a couple different things. So where to find the floor plan diagrams, how to create them, how to add your blueprints, and how to add icons on top, as well as how to export this as a document for your customers and how to share it with your team. So the first thing you'll see here is the screen I'm sure most of you are familiar with, which is the D3M project screen. So this is where all of your projects live, ones you've created or ones that have been shared with you. So for today's webinar, we are actually going to create a new project. So to do that, simply click the button that says New Project. And the only two things we have to fill out right now, as you can see, are customer and project name. Everything else can be filled out now or changed later. That is not a problem. So for now, we'll just do customer name and project name. So our customer is going to be ABC Manufacturing. And oh, there they are. And the project name is going to be a video surveillance install. So we're going to start building. So from here, you're going to be brought into the topology diagram, which is the diagram everyone is most familiar with. But for today's webinar, we are actually going to be jumping over to the tab right beside it that is new, floor plan. So as you can see, if you click here, you are brought into a new section. The first thing you'll notice you want to do is add a floor plan. So this can be a floor plan, a blueprint, a map, any image that you'd wish. So if we click add floor plan, we're going to select hospital floor. The image has now been uploaded. Great, so here you can see our floor plan. So I have a hospital floor plan just as an example. So the first thing that I suggest you do is right click and lock the image into place. What you'll notice is now if I try to click and drag, the image won't move. This will come in very handy once we start putting cameras and different items on top of the floor plan. The last thing you want is to be able to move a camera around and then the whole floor plan goes moving with it and nothing's in the right place anymore. So I would say lock your image and then get started. So one thing that you'll want to make sure you do is before you get started, as you can see here, I have a cameras library in my icon library. The first thing that you're going to want to make sure is that for this especially, I would say to have the video surveillance icon library enabled. So I'll show you guys how to do that. You'll have to be an admin. So if you aren't, simply ask an admin to enable this library for your company. So if you're an admin, you go into your admin settings under the drop down here, go to your library, and go to library management. This is where you can select everything you want on and off. So anything gray with a check mark means it is available in the library for everyone in your organization. So as you can see, we have video surveillance checked. If you don't, simply click here and it'll be available for everyone in your organization. So now that we have our video surveillance icons, how do we get started by putting icons on the floor plan? So say one of the places we want to go put a camera is the gift shop. Say there can be some theft, it's very close to the entrance. We want to make sure that we can see what's going on in this gift shop. So first you would select which camera they're using or you're using. So in this case, we'll take the fixed IP dome camera. You simply drag and drop it out like you would on the topology side or the rack side. But what you'll notice is this is now encased in a circular blue, in a blue circle, just allows it to stand out when put on a floor plan. What we noticed if we didn't do this was this would just get lost and in the floor plan and it'd be hard to see. Now you can tell like this stands out more than if it were just by itself, having the blue circle around it. So we will put it, say we want the camera right in this corner. That's where it's going to be situated. Like that looks great. And also this tells people where the camera actually goes. But how do we show coverage or show where the camera is going to be actually taking video of? That's where the properties come in. So just like you would for the regular icons, you'll double click the icon and the editor will show up. Again, you can change the name. You can add in different properties, and if you edit them, you can move them around. You can delete ones you don't think you need. Click done, that is all saved. You can add quote parts. So this is the incorrect quote part, so we'll just delete that. You can add notes. But here is the new and exciting thing that comes with Floorplan. This is the coverage. So the first thing you'll notice is you can turn coverage on and off to see. So we'll leave it on so you guys can see what we are working with. The next thing is the angle of the camera. So with this camera, we'll say the angle it covers is 90 degrees. The next thing is you can actually change the color of this coverage area. So say you want this coverage area to be a green. You put that in. You don't have to put in a hex code. You can also click this and select, say we'll select this bluish purple. No problem, and you'll notice your circle changes as well. This is great for branding, so if you want to use your brand's colors, that will look really sharp, especially when you send this to your customer. The last thing you can do here is actually change the opacity. So that means how see-through and transparent this coverage area is. We could make it not see-through at all, or fully transparent. We like to keep it somewhere in the middle so you can actually see where it is, but you can still see what's underneath it, which is really great with when you have a floor plan and there's important information underneath. So we'll leave that there, come back out here, and the next thing I'll show you is how to adjust these. So all you'll do is you simply click this square here in the middle to adjust the size by pulling out and where it's situated by turning and rotating. So say this is in the corner, and we know this is the coverage area. So we'll just set this here, and this is the coverage area for that. If you also want to change the angle not in the properties, you can simply do that by using these circles and clicking and dragging. So say we move it to about here. If we double click on our properties, you'll now notice this has been updated to an angle of 215 instead of the 90 we began with. We're going to put it back to 90 just so it makes a little more sense. And that's what we have here. So this is a great way to show you, hey, this is how much of the gift shop will be covered. But what you'll notice is, well, the door won't be covered. So if anybody's over here or leaves with something, we will have no record of it. So that would be a great time where maybe you discuss with a customer that a bullet IP camera, maybe situated in the corner here, would be a great idea. So if we have that, turn this on, and an angle, this one will say the angle is 75. We can bring that here and show that it would be covering the door area. And this is all based on what the customer would like, the different needs that they have. So this is just an example. Bear in mind that this might not be in real life, but it just shows you what you can actually show and do using Floorplan. So if we zoom out, we'll see that that's showing there. You have all these other areas that we could cover. You know, we could say that we need cameras in the main patient registration. Make sure there are no cameras at the chapel because it's sacred. There's all these different things that you can discuss with your customer. And this is a great way to show them visually, just like D3M does with anything else, just to show them visually what they will be getting. So the last thing I'm going to show you is how to share this with your team as well as with your customers. So the first thing I'll show you, it's the same as how you'd share anything with your team in D3M. You simply click collaborate. From here, you have a couple options. You can send a share link, and this is great because you can send this share link to anybody, anyone in your organization or anyone you want to share it with, even if they don't have a D3M account. The only thing is they'll get full access to the project just the way you see it, so all the tabs and everything, but it's read only, so they just can't edit or change anything. So this is great if you want to share it with somebody who doesn't necessarily need to use D3M, but needs to take a look over your material before you send it out to a customer, or if you want to get their opinion on something. If they have a D3M account, simply type in the email address here related to their email account, select the permissions you'd like to give them, so whether you just want them to view it, edit and share, or transfer ownership. You select that, click share, and they will get an email notifying them that you shared this project with them. From there, they can access it at any time and help you, and you guys can work simultaneously as well. Now, if you want to share it with a customer, we suggest you do this by going into documents. You've probably seen this in other webinars. This is a great way to share stuff with your customers. So we say create a new document, and now you can either choose from some of the templates or start with a blank one. So we have a network diagram template that we can start with. So we'll click create, and it's all loading up with everything we've done. So what you'll notice is we can, right now, this is supposed to be for the topology. Since we don't have any topology, nothing's showing up. No problem, simply delete that. Here you can see all the different things you can drag and drop in: text, images, topology, floor plan, rack, inventory, quote. So we want to do our floor plan. Simply click and drag, and now our floor plan is populated here. You can zoom in. So say the only place we've added something is the gift shop. So you want the customer to really be able to see that. So you're going to zoom in on the gift shop. Another thing you can do is change the text here. Network diagram overview might not make sense. So we could say whatever we'd like. So we could call it a floor plan diagram overview. And this here is text again that you can change based on what you'd like to send out. You can add more floor plans if you would like. So say you want to show one zoomed in on the area of the main area, and then also show an overview of the entire floor plan as well. You can easily do that. It's very flexible when you have documents to add and change things as you wish. Once you've created the document and it's ready to go, to share it to your customer is very simple. Simply click export and share. And you have three options to share it with your customer. You can download it as a PDF and send it to them via email. You can print it, do whatever you would like. You can also send them a share link similar to what you would send to someone you're working with. However, with this share link, all they will see is the document. They won't have access to any of your tabs. You don't have to worry about them seeing your quote or your inventory or anything. They'll just see this document live. So this is a great option if you're on the phone with the customer and you want to make changes on the fly, and they can see the changes as you make them. Lastly, it's another way to share it to them. Instead of sending them the link, you can type in their email address, click share document, and D3M will actually send them an email on your behalf, letting them know you've shared this project with them. They'll have the same access they would with this share link here. If you ever need to revoke access, simply come over here, click generate new link, and anyone who had access to the old link will no longer be able to access the D3M document at all. So that is the main parts of floor plan. I hope that you guys found this webinar interesting and insightful, and I hope you guys can use floor plan in your day-to-day stuff. So thank you all for joining today, and have a wonderful day.